Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. I'm Bill. Today's video is going to be on the Berserker Prestige class. It is in the Masters of the Wild 3rd edition Prestige class book. It is also in, I believe, the Complete Warrior from 3.5. If I'm wrong, put it in the comments below. I'm okay to be corrected on this stuff. So let's see, Frenzied Berserker is on page 59. Okay. The requirements to become a frenzied berserker. You must be non-lawful. You have to have a base attack bonus of +6. You have to have the following feats: cleave, destructive rage, intimidating rage, and power attack. Those rages are in this book. There might be the same rages or rage powers in Pathfinder. If not, just search up these rage feats online. You'll easily find what they do. So after you meet all those requirements, after about 6th level barbarian, you can then transition into this prestige class. The prestige class would give you a d12 hit points every time you take a level in it. You gain no new armor or weapon proficiencies. So let's look at the table and then we'll dive into the individual bonuses. So your base attack bonus, you get +1 per level of this prestige class. So at 10th level of this prestige class, it's a +10. So it'd be like you were a 16th level barbarian by the time you max out the prestige class, as far as your attack bonus goes. Now your fort save starts at +2 and ends at +7 at 10th level. So you're going to have a hell of a fortitude save by the end of it. Not only is a barbarian's fortitude save good to begin with, but now yours is even better. That said, your reflex and will save will be lagging behind a barbarian of the same level, because it starts at +0 at 1st level and doesn't get a +1 until 3rd level of this prestige class. Okay, so special. At 1st level, you get Frenzy once per day, and you get Remain Conscious. At 2nd level, you get Supreme Cleave. At 3rd level, you get Frenzy 2 per day. At 4th level, you get Deathless Frenzy. At 5th level, you get Frenzy 3 per day and Improved Power Attack. At 6th level, you get Inspire Frenzy once per day. At 7th level, you get Frenzy 4 times per day. At 8th level, you get Greater Frenzy and Inspire Frenzy 2 times per day. At 9th level, you get Frenzy 5 times per day. At 10th level, you get Inspire Frenzy 3 times per day, No Longer Winded After Frenzy, and Supreme Power Attack. So let's dive into what those actually mean. Frenzy. Beginning at 1st level, the Frenzied Berserker can enter a frenzy during combat. While frenzied, they gain a +6 bonus to strength with an extra attack each round at the highest attack bonus. This effect is not cumulative with haste. So if you're under the effect of haste, you don't get the bonus of haste with this, as far as attacks go. However, they also suffer a -4 penalty to AC and take 2 points of subdual damage per round. So you'll slowly be going unconscious because of the subdual damage you take. A frenzy lasts for a number of rounds equal to 3 plus the Frenzied Berserker's Constitution modifier. To end the frenzy before its duration expires, the character may attempt a will save, DC 20, once per round as a free action. Success ends the frenzy immediately, failure means it continues. The effect of the frenzy stacks with those from rage. So you can add rage to this. In 3rd edition and 3.5, rage was so many times per day, not so many rounds as it is in Pathfinder. So you would rage, say by 6th level, you could rage 3 times per day, maybe. I could be wrong on that. So you enter your rage, you get +4 to your stats. You enter your frenzy, you get a +6 to your stats. But the +6 is only to strength. But your constitution's increased from your rage, so the amount of rounds you could be frenzied is increased. At first level, the character can enter a frenzy once per day. Thereafter, they gain additional uses per day for every 2 berserker levels they gain. To avoid entering a frenzy in response to damage, the character must make a successful will save, DC 10 plus points of damage suffered since her last action, at the start of her next action. So damage can trigger you to go into a frenzy, which could be bad for your party if all the enemies get killed quickly, because then you have to make will saves to get out of it. While frenzied, the character cannot use skills or abilities that require patience or concentration, such as stealth, casting spells, drink potions, activate magic items, or read scrolls. They can use any feat they have except expertise, because expertise requires you to be patient to gain your AC and deflect the enemy's attacks. Item creation feats, meta magic feats, and skill focus in a skill that requires patience or concentration, because concentration was a skill in 3.0. Now they've ruled that in as it's just equal to your class level as far as the spellcaster goes. But you can, while in a frenzy, use your special ability to inspire frenzy normally, which you get at later levels. During a frenzy, the frenzied berserker must attack those she perceives as foes to the best of her ability. Should she run out of enemies before her frenzy expires, her rampage continues. She must then attack the nearest creature, determined randomly if several potential foes are equal distance, and fight that opponent without regard to friendship, innocence, or health, the target's or her own. When a frenzy ends, the frenzied berserker is fatigued, -2 to strength and dex, unable to charge or run, for the duration of the encounter, or until she enters another frenzy, whichever comes first. At 10th level, she is no longer fatigued after frenzying, though she still suffers the subtle damage for each round it lasts. Starting at 8th level, the character's frenzy bonus to strength becomes +10 instead of +6. So right there, your rage gets even more powerful. Your frenzy gets even more powerful. Stack that with rage, especially the way rage improves in Pathfinder, and you're going to have a very mean melee character. You gain Remain Conscious as one of your abilities at first level. The frenzied berserker can remain conscious, gets the Remain Conscious as a bonus feat, which allows you to stay up when dropped into the negatives instead of passing out. Supreme Cleave. At 2nd level, the frenzied berserker can take a 5-foot step between attacks when using the Cleave or Great Cleave feat. She is still limited to one such adjustment per round, so she cannot use this ability during a round which she has already taken a 5-foot step. So if you started out surrounded, you drop them, but there's some within 5 feet, you could take your 5-foot step and then attack. Deathless Frenzy at 4th level. The frenzied berserker can scorn death and unconsciousness while in a frenzy. Should her hit points fall to 0 or below because of hit point loss, she continues to fight normally until her frenzy ends. At that point, the effect of her wounds apply normally. This ability does not prevent death from spell effects such as Slay Living or Disintegrate. That can be very mean to constantly be up and fighting, so that would be very cool if you're the player using that. Improved Power Attack. Beginning at 5th level, the frenzied berserker gains +3 to the melee damage rolls for every -2 penalty they take on their melee attack rolls when using Power Attack feat. Power Attack feat functions differently in Pathfinder, so I'd probably just double whatever the Pathfinder bonuses were for taking the penalties. So I believe it was, if you take a 1, you gained a +2 damage with a one-handed weapon, +3 damage with a two-handed weapon. So if you took a 1, I'd give you a I'd say +4 and then +2, or +4 and then +6 if it's two-handed. So you could get a lot of advantages that way on damage, which you deserve. Inspired Frenzy. Beginning at 6th level, the frenzied berserker can inspire frenzy in her allies while she herself is frenzied. When she uses this ability, all allies within 10 feet of her gain the benefit and the disadvantages of frenzy as if they had the ability themselves. Those who do not wish to be affected can make a will save, DC 10 plus the frenzied berserker's level plus the frenzied berserker's charisma modifier. Most barbarians I play don't have a high charisma modifier, so that's DC is going to be relatively low if you don't want a frenzy. To resist the effect, the frenzy of the affected allies lasts for a number of rounds equal to 3 plus the frenzied berserker's constitution modifier, regardless of whether they remain within 10 feet of her. Now that is potent to get your allies out there fighting and dealing out extra damage. The frenzied berserker gains 1 additional use of this ability per day for every 2 additional frenzied berserker levels she acquires, though the ability is still usable only once per encounter. So that can be pretty good. And that's just putting it on the low end. Imagine a frenzied berserker leading a group of warriors, and you encounter another group. Well, the warriors can't frenzy normally, but you can. So you inspire frenzy in them to increase their damage and their ability to take out the targets. Supreme Power Attack at 10th level. The frenzied berserker gains +2 bonus on their melee damage rolls for every 1 penalty they take on their melee attack rolls when using the power attack feat. This feat does not stack with the improved power attack feat. So I would probably rule in Pathfinder that this would do 6 points for a 2-handed weapon for 1 point of power attack, and it'd be 9 points for a 2-handed weapon per 1 point of power attack. So it maxes out at 10 points on power attack. 5 points on power attack. So 5 times, so 30 extra points of damage for a 1-handed weapon, and 45 extra points of damage for a 2-handed weapon. So that can make the damage dealt a whole lot more potent. The only downside is you're limited to melee. The only upside is you're limited to melee. So once you're in melee, if they try to get out, those attacks of opportunity are going to be devastating when they hit. Well, this is the Frenzied Berserker. If anyone has any questions, put them in the comments below. If this was very entertaining, let me know. Till we meet again.